So what allows online communities to attract more and more collaborators?
Well, in my research, I've actually, and in my sort of experience, and also in the research of lots of other people who are doing work in this space, I've sort of put together what I see as five sort of major principles or propositions, five major things that we see as common to lots of different examples of the most successful collaborative innovation projects.
Oh, that's really great. It'd be great to discuss them all. What's the first?
So the first has to do with familiar products or goals, very clear ideas of what it is that a community is trying to do and where it is that it's trying to go, and that the most successful communities have a very clear statement of what it is they're trying to do, which means that when people show up, they don't have to worry about figuring out what to do. They sort of know what to do even before they start.
So one, be clear in your goal.
Be clear in the goal, and to the extent that you can, sort of cite or refer to familiar products. That's right.
What's the second one?
So the second idea is that the contribution to a community should be rewarding. So of course, a contribution can be rewarding in any number of ways. One simple way is that it could fulfill a user's need. If a user is solving their own problem by participating in the community, then it could be rewarding just like that. Again, it could be things could be fun. Alternatively, it could be social. A lot of these kinds of motivations, this very mixed set of motivations, can all contribute to different ways in which a community can be rewarding.
In Wikipedia's case, people care about creating an encyclopedia that is free and for the world, that covers almost any subject imaginable.
That's right, and many people participate in Wikipedia for that reason. But people also participate in Wikipedia because they receive awards from other people within the Wikipedia community, which become valuable to them and which sort of signal that other people appreciate what they're doing. Or they contribute because they are compulsive copy editors, and they just love to do it. So within any community, you often find a variety of different motivational profiles for individuals and a variety of different motivations within individuals.
Number two, you've got to understand and foster different systems of reward. How about number three?
The third idea is that the costs associated with contribution should be very low. So many times people make it just too hard to contribute. If I'm reading a paragraph in an encyclopedia article and I see a missing comma, I'm a little bit of a compulsive person, so that bothers me a little bit. I want to fix it, but if it's a paper encyclopedia and I have to go find the address of the publisher, and I have to go write it down or type up a letter and find a stamp and mail it, I'm bothered by the missing comma, but I'm not bothered that much. But Wikipedia, part of the beauty of it is that it made it very easy to just press the edit button, fix that comma, and press the save button.
That's it.
And that's it. And because it's so easy, I'll make changes that I never would make in the context of a traditional encyclopedia. We can say that the transaction costs associated with making that contribution have become very low. And as a result, it makes possible the mass aggregation of many small contributions from lots of people who are slightly annoyed by missing commas and similar kinds of errors.
So bring down the costs of contribution. How about number four?
So 4 is low degrees of ownership, individual or sort of corporate ownership over the work products. So we might think of this in terms of the idea that there are fewer toes to step on, or fewer people whose permission we need to ask in order to do something in a project. And we find that the projects with lower forms of ownership in these senses are ones that tend to build more vibrant collaborative communities.
So it's not just about autonomy, it's also about a sense of ownership.
That's right. And there's some great examples from my own experience. I've worked a lot in a couple projects, the Ubuntu project and the Debian project, very similar projects, but Ubuntu is created by a firm, and many people are paid to work on it. And as a result, they've really struggled to attract contributors in the same way that the Debian project has, just because in Debian, everyone feels like they're in complete control of what it is that they're doing, of the direction of the project. But there's a sense in Ubuntu that if you're among some contributors, that if you're contributing to Ubuntu, you're just working for the firm that builds it, but without a paycheck.
So give and foster a sense of ownership. How about the final one?
The final principle is in some ways the most obvious. It's that the vibrant collaborative communities are often directly engaged in recruiting people to participate. Many people who build online communities take a very, you will, if we build it, if you build it, they will come sort of attitude. And as a result, they find that people don't come. A lot of the most vibrant communities are directly and actively engaged in getting people to come in by explaining to the world, not just taking their code and throwing it over the wall, but opening their doors and making it very clear to the world that contributions are welcome and that they are encouraged and that they are appreciated.
And the takeaway for people who are looking to build online collaborative communities is go campaign, just promote, advocate on behalf of your community.
That's right. Like focus on the design of your community and on the incentives such that you hit those first 4 points, and then go out and really, make it clear that your doors are open and that you really want and value contributions from other people.